Do you really believe it's just a coincidence that you're here reading this now? No, it isn't. There are no accidents when the soul is ready. This is not just a message. It's a sacred invocation, a divine warning before something profound unlocks in your life, something that once set into motion cannot be reversed. And so I must ask you, Taurus, are you truly prepared to see what has been hidden? Because once the veil is lifted, there is no turning back. Heaven has seen you. Not just your smile or your silence, but your inner breaking, the kind that no one notices, the kind you held together while everyone else moved on, oblivious. They didn't see you swallowing tears during the betrayals, but the divine did. You walked through storms, cloaked in silence. You kept going while your world trembled beneath your feet. That is why the heavens now rise for you. That is why they declare no more. No more settling for scraps disguised as affection. No more leaning on supports that crumble beneath you. No more allowing shadows to speak louder than your light. Because now, beloved Taurus, a liberation is coming. One you never asked for, but one your soul has been yearning for. And while you ascend silently, someone close to you, yes, very close, begins to fall. She wears a mask of affection, but beneath it simmers envy, rage, obsession. She's smiled in your presence, maybe even embraced you, but her heart has twisted against your light. She's reached into darker places, tried to manipulate energy to sink you. She's invoked forces against you. If this message is already stirring something deep inside you, pause for a moment. Subscribe now and share in the comments what you're feeling. Because when your voice joins the sacred chorus, the universe listens louder. Let this be your declaration that you're ready, awake, and walking toward your divine rising. But she failed. Because what guards you is beyond spell, beyond jealousy, beyond comprehension. You are covered. You are encircled by celestial forces, and the web they spun for you is unraveling by its own deceit. Do you feel it? Do you know who she is? That tension in your chest isn't confusion, it's recognition. Trust that. And it's not only one. There are more. Some hide behind past relationships, others within the broken branches of family. Some have kept your image. They've used your photograph in rituals, tried to halt your path, but again they failed because you were born with a purpose that cannot be erased. You carry something ancient, divine, something that cannot be bought, conjured or stolen. You felt the pressure in your sleep, the heaviness in your dreams, the unexplained fatigue. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual attacks in your most vulnerable hours. But fear not, your awakening has already begun. What once wounded you is now powerless. The realms above have decreed that this is not your battle to fight alone. Taurus, someone betrayed you from within your closest circles, someone you shared your space, your bread, and your sacred trust with. They gathered your secrets only to use them against you. The betrayal is real, and the time of revelation is here. This person is not alone. She is part of a group. I see 5 individuals, each contributing, knowingly or ignorantly, to the shadows cast against you. Some of them, family, others, from the past you left behind. They have whispered your name at night, conjured intentions soaked in venom, carried offerings to shrines meant to bind you, but they never saw the light within you. They underestimated the force that shields your name, because while they conspired in the darkness, you surrendered in silence. You didn't shout, didn't rage. You walked away with grace, and that silence pierced them more than any scream. You handed justice to the divine, and the divine has already begun. They are still watching you, Taurus, through social media, through shared connections, through false neutrality. But the chain is breaking. The mirror is turning. Divine justice descends like thunder cloaked in light. And Archangel Gabriel, the divine herald, the one who never left your side, has already shattered the trap meant for you. He turned it into your elevation. While you pray, they curse. While you hope, they decay. While you love, they shrivel in the emptiness of their intentions. And here's what they cannot comprehend. What is destined for you is already coming, and no one can stop it. Some of you are already feeling love blooming again, or sensing a new, sacred connection drawing near. It is not random. It is not mere timing. It is restoration. Someone pure, untainted, chosen is walking toward you. A soul designed to nurture what others tried to destroy. But beware, for not everyone is pleased. There is someone near you, possibly within your family, or someone you considered family. A daughter-in-law, a son, a sibling, or a soul you once held like kin, who wants to dim your joy. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. This energy has tied itself to sabotage. Don't ignore the signs. Name what you sense. The energy that binds you is not acting alone. It is a woven alliance of envy, hatred, and subtle manipulation. But the divine has declared, enough. What they've sent will return to them, and everything they tried to steal from you will be returned multiplied. Because you, Taurus, you carry the mark of those who survived the fire and rise made new. You lived beneath roofs drenched in false promises, within walls that echoed betrayal. You laid your trust in places where it was not honored. But now, that house of pain becomes the soil from which your power blooms. The time of sacred retribution is near, and it will not be hidden. It will be seen. They will witness your resurrection. Now, I invite you to anchor this truth in the sacred realm of word and will. Write in the comments below, I reclaim every stolen piece of me. What was used against me now becomes my shield. I walk guarded by divine justice. Write it with intention, with power, and know that as you do, something ancient, beautiful, and irreversible begins moving in your favor. You are not who they thought you were. You are who the heavens always knew you'd become. Something ancient is being stirred beneath the surface of your life, Taurus. A sacred tremor echoing through the bones of your destiny. If part 1 revealed the mask and the betrayal, this moment is about unveiling your legacy. And to understand the magnitude of what is unfolding, we must now look to the sky. As the full moon in Sagittarius rises on June 11th, it brings a sacred illumination to your path. This is not just light, this is revelation. A lunar portal is opening above you, casting truth over everything hidden. Expect sudden clarity about relationships that felt uncertain, roles you've been playing unconsciously, and energies in your space that no longer align with your spirit. This moon is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of divine justice and expansion. Under its watch, what is meant for you cannot remain small, and what is false can no longer survive in your orbit. And here's the mystical truth of it all. While you thought you were being broken, you were being revealed. This moon touches your 8th house, the realm of transformation, secrets, inheritance, both spiritual and emotional. That's why old patterns have returned, people you thought forgotten have resurfaced, and dreams have turned intense, even prophetic, because the soul never forgets what it came to complete. Your ancestors have begun whispering through the ether, and you, Taurus, are being invited to break a cycle so ancient that it didn't even begin with you, but will most certainly end with you. And yet, the transformation will not come without friction. On June 20th, the solstice marks the shift of the sun into Cancer, and the doorway between worlds is wide open. This celestial alignment is one of the holiest of the year. The veil between timelines thins. Your heart becomes the compass. Pay attention to what stirs in your body that day. Do you feel grief rising out of nowhere, longing without a clear source? That's your soul shedding inherited burdens. The pain isn't yours. It's the echo of generations you've come to liberate. But let's speak clearly. This liberation requires choices, real, powerful choices, to no longer pretend you are fine when your spirit is suffocating, to stop returning to people who have only ever taught you how to bleed silently, to speak your truth, not as a weapon, but as an awakening. And as Mars meets Uranus in Gemini during this very season, the universe sends you one final push. It's time to disrupt the familiar. This alignment, explosive and electric, will shake the roots of your routines. Finances, communication, mental clarity, all will be tested. And yet, this is not chaos without reason. It is sacred reordering. You're not losing control. You're being invited to surrender your illusion of it. There is someone still pretending to be neutral, someone who watches you quietly, who perhaps even compliments you, but whose energy is filled with judgment and masked jealousy. This is the season when that veil is lifted. Taurus, I see your name being protected in higher dimensions. I see divine contracts rewriting themselves. I see roads opening where there were only walls. Why? Because your soul did not come here to live a diluted version of its brilliance. And yet part of you hesitates. Why? Because you've been conditioned to believe that peace must be earned through sacrifice, that love is only true if it hurts, that you must always give more than you receive. But those beliefs are curses dressed as loyalty. This moon cycle says release them, write them, burn them, name them, and then bury what is no longer yours to carry. And here's what the stars promise in return. A conversation long overdue, arriving just as your heart begins to harden. An unexpected opportunity that brings financial or creative growth. A connection so divinely aligned, it awakens a version of you forgot existed. But you must trust the discomfort. You must trust the release. You must trust that sometimes, when everything crumbles, it's because your soul has outgrown the structure. You are not meant to fit in this smaller life. And so I ask you now, Taurus, what are you still clinging to that no longer holds you in love? There is no shame in shedding, no guilt in walking away. The sun doesn't apologize for outshining the clouds. This season is not about vengeance. It's about resurrection. Taurus, if you've been feeling a strange presence near you, a cold wind in a still room, a whisper in the silence, a weight in your dreams, it's because something sacred is happening. An ancestral veil is lifting, and the spirits of your lineage are gathering around you. This is not folklore. This is not imagination. This is blood remembering itself. The choices you're making now are not just yours. You are the turning point in a lineage marked by silence, burden, and endurance. And your soul, brave, persistent, unshakable, has been chosen to do what others could not, to end the suffering that was passed down like a silent inheritance. Your ancestors are not angry. They are awake, and they are watching you with awe. Because you are doing what they never dared, you are breaking the wheel. You've likely felt it without naming it. Sudden waves of emotion, cravings for solitude, a yearning to visit old places, strange synchronicities with dates, names, or objects from the past. These are not coincidences. These are echoes. Your spirit is being called back to the moment the wound began, so it can be healed finally through you. This is what we call ancestral alchemy, and you, Taurus, are the fire. Many karmic debts are being settled this June. Why now? Because under the current sky, especially after the full moon in Sagittarius, and with Mars-Uranus shaking the core of your stability, the earth signs are being asked to transform rather than maintain. For centuries, your lineage may have been taught to endure, to stay, to make do, to carry. But you are here to do something revolutionary for your bloodline, to release, to move, to thrive. I want to speak to the contracts. The soul contracts. Some of you, Taurus, have entered relationships, partnerships, or even jobs that felt fated. At first, they glowed with divine timing, as if you were being guided straight into them. But now, the glow has dimmed. The soul knows when a contract has been fulfilled, even if the heart resists. And for many of you, that time is now. You may find that someone who once held your heart now feels distant, strange, unfamiliar. It's not that something is wrong. It's that the agreement between your souls has ended. The lesson has been learned. Continuing would only delay your expansion. Others of you are still tied to someone through karmic threads, perhaps a family member, an ex-lover, a mentor. You feel them still in your field. You dream of them. You feel their emotions as if they were your own. If what you're reading resonates with your soul, don't walk this journey alone. Subscribe and leave a comment below with the truth that's been waiting to be heard from you. You are not just watching, you're participating in a sacred alignment, and your presence here is part of something far greater than coincidence. This is because the contract remains active, but the moment you recognize it, the moment you say aloud, "I release this bond with love and gratitude," it begins to unravel. Do not underestimate the power of your declaration. Taurus, the universe is holding your pen now. You are being invited to rewrite the script of your destiny. What do you want to call in? A love that does not demand your sacrifice? A home where you don't have to shrink? Work that honors your worth instead of draining your life? You get to choose now, and the choices you make will ripple through time, not just for you, but for the generations that will come after you. This is why it's been so heavy, why your heart has ached without reason, because your soul has been walking with ghosts, not to be haunted, but to lay them to rest. And now they kneel beside you, not to scare you, but to thank you. The mother who was never loved enough, the father who never spoke his truth, the child who died too soon, the woman who couldn't leave, the man who lived for duty and died without peace. They are all here, Taurus, watching, weeping, healing through you. You are the first in your line to say, "This ends with me," and the sky agrees. The stars themselves are aligning not to punish, but to support your sacred rebellion. You were never cursed, you were chosen, you are not broken, you are the breaker of chains. You've made it through the storm, Taurus, but not unchanged. What was shattered within you is not being put back together as it was. No, you are being rebuilt in a new shape, forged by light, by fire, by truth. And with this reconstruction comes the birth of something sacred, your spiritual gifts. You may have already noticed the subtle signs. Your dreams have shifted, becoming vivid, almost cinematic. Perhaps you've awakened with fragments of conversations you've never had, places you've never visited, symbols you can't quite explain. This is not your imagination. It is your intuition awakening. The realm of dreams is the soul's temple, and you are receiving direct transmission. Pay close attention. Keep a journal beside your bed. The messages you're receiving are not only for you. Some are warnings, others confirmations. Some are echoes from ancestors or guides. All are sacred. As the sun now journeys through the water sign of Cancer, activated powerfully by the solstice energies, your inner world is more receptive than ever. You're becoming a vessel for spirit. Your emotional body is now the instrument through which divine messages move. If you suddenly feel joy, grief, or anger that doesn't belong to you, pause. That feeling may be a visitation, a guidance, or a shift in the energetic field around you. You're learning the language of the unseen. But here's what's important. You don't need to understand it all to receive it. This isn't about logic. It's about surrender. Let the wisdom reveal itself in layers. Some truths are meant to unfold slowly as your vibration adjusts. And now, the gift. For some of you, a healing gift is being activated. You may feel heat in your hands, tingling in your palms, or an urge to touch others with compassion. Trust that. Your touch is awakening healing in others, even if they don't realize it. Others may feel called to speak, to write, to guide. You are channels now, voices for the divine. You don't need a platform. Your presence alone shifts atmospheres. Your words are no longer casual. They're energetic codes. Some of you are called to create music, poetry, symbols, art. The urge may come suddenly, fiercely. Don't delay it. Your creations will be medicine for others. And a few of you, Taurus, will begin to see shadows around people, flickers in the air, light forms in corners. You may feel the presence of someone before they speak, or sense the truth behind a mask. This is sight beyond sight. It is your spirit recognizing what the eyes cannot. You are not going mad. You are becoming awake, but with power comes responsibility. You must protect your energy now. Cleanse your space regularly, with smoke, with prayer, with sound. Speak only what is aligned with truth and kindness. Your voice has power now. Avoid people who drain you or dishonor your presence. Their chaos is no longer compatible with your field. And most of all, rest. Your nervous system is processing more light than ever before. Sleep, water, silence. These are now sacred tools for you. Taurus, the universe is entrusting you with sacred work. Not in the sense of duty, but destiny. You carry something divine in your field, and it's growing stronger. Don't try to fit into old structures. You're not who you were. You've been reborn into someone who must be guided by energy, not expectation. Expect moments of deep knowing, where you simply understand something without being told. Expect encounters with people who seem familiar, though you've never met. Expect animals, numbers, or nature to speak to you in ways that feel too perfect to ignore. You're not imagining it. You're remembering. You were always meant to walk between worlds, the physical and the mystical, and now you are learning to weave them together. And now, Taurus, we arrive at the closing of the circle and the opening of a gate. Everything that was taken from you, everything that was delayed, sabotaged, buried, is now returning. But it does not come back the same. It comes back multiplied, purified, transformed. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine compensation. There is a law older than time itself. What is stolen from the sacred must be returned with interest. And you, Taurus, have always been sacred. Even when you doubted, even when they tried to make you feel small, even when your tears soaked into the earth with no one watching, the divine watched. And now, that same earth rises for you. You are not being repaid only with material things, although some of you will see unexpected finances, offers, and breakthroughs. No, you are being repaid in soul currency, peace that cannot be shaken, love that honors your truth, paths that open without force, joy that finds you in your stillness. You see, Taurus, you never truly lost anything. You were in a season of refinement, not punishment. The universe wasn't denying you. It was preparing you, molding you, sharpening your discernment, clearing the weeds before the harvest. And the harvest begins now. The portals opened by the solstice and the moon have thinned the veil. And what was kept in waiting is now released. Dreams are being fulfilled not because you forced them, but because you became aligned with them. Watch for the next 33 days. Yes, 33. That number will follow some of you. It is the number of Christ consciousness, of the master teacher, and of karmic conclusion. In that sacred window, expect divine reversals. Someone who abandoned you will come back, not for closure, but to witness your rise. An opportunity you thought was lost will reappear, better, clearer, more aligned. A message will arrive, from spirit, a guide, or a stranger, that confirms everything you already know deep within. Do not seek revenge, seek radiance. Your radiance is your revenge. You are not here to prove them wrong. You are here to prove the divine right. And listen closely now, because this is important. Do not shrink to make others comfortable in your glow. Do not apologize for surviving what they could not. Do not explain the grace you walk in. They weren't with you in the dark. They don't get to question your light. And as this chapter opens, a final message from Spirit comes through. Taurus, your silence was your strength. Your softness was your shield. Your steadiness was your weapon. And your faith, even when it was hanging by a thread, was the bridge that carried you here. You didn't imagine the storm. You endured it. You didn't exaggerate the pain. You alchemized it. You are no longer the version of you who was broken. You are the embodied prayer of generations who never made it this far, and now you must walk like it. If this message stirred something deep within you, I invite you now to write this sacred decree in the comments. Not for me, but for your soul, for your guides, for the universe that's been waiting for your yes. I rise from what was meant to break me. I am the fulfillment of a divine promise. I walk in light that no shadow can steal. Write it with presence, write it with fire, and trust You are not just being seen, you are being celebrated by the stars themselves. This is your new season, Taurus, and nothing will ever be the same. And if this message spoke to your spirit, even in whispers, then honor this moment. Subscribe to stay connected with this divine unfolding, and comment below with your decree of power. This is not the end of a video, it's the beginning of your next chapter. Let the universe witness your light.